Hello, thank you, Mr. Chair, Ranking Member. Appreciate the hearing today. Mr. Brown, good day. The fiscal year 2023 Appropriations Act provided more than $319 million in new funding for the Pipeline Hazardous Materials Safety Association. And as you know, the Pipes Act required PHSMA to maintain a minimum of 247 pipeline inspection personnel for fiscal year 2023. Your current count is 207. And now we learned that this funding includes a total of 33 positions, including 6 positions for pipeline safety climate change experts. Given the clear direction of Congress that PHSMA hire a minimum of 247 pipeline inspection and enforcement personnel, how can you justify 6 positions related to climate change in an agency that is supposed to be focused on safety? And what are these 6 climate change experts doing that is not covered by the regular pipeline inspection personnel?
I want to make sure we get a very robust answer as a follow-up to this hearing, because over the first 2 years, we were meeting the year-on-year increases of 20% each year. At the end of a year, we often lose folks to retirement. I want to make sure we get you the up-to-date numbers and factor in those changes. We also initiated new recruitment and retention proposals that are currently pending with Office of Personnel Management. For example, the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement pays their engineer inspectors about 30% more than we're able to pay ours. Additionally, there's at least one state that pays about 30% more. We just want to be able to be on that same level playing field. We can't compete with the private sector in terms of compensation, but we welcome any incentives.
Great.
It's not for a lack of trying.
Well,
we
thank
certainly
you for
want
that.
more
The
inspectors.
core of my question is, what are the climate change experts doing that your regular safety personnel are not doing?
Yes. So this committee directed us to consider environmental impacts in our rulemakings. Right. That's been a directive from this committee. We have to implement that. We've been, in the last administration, promulgated a rule in which 15 state attorneys general sued us because we did not consider environmental impacts. When our rule is litigated and basically held in abeyance, we can't do our work on those rules until we consider the environmental impacts. As I noted before, we had less than 1 full-time employee considering environmental impacts when it's in our mission statement. So we need a few folks. That also includes, lithium-ion batteries. So half of our agency oversees 1 in 10 goods that move in the United States. Nuclear waste, lithium-ion batteries.
Okay, I got it. It's been said that if everything's a priority, then nothing gets priority. PHSMA requests more resources from Congress to complete this core mission. Now you're spending these resources on activities that have no correlation with pipeline safety. We can all talk about climate change until the cows come home. We can all talk about, are we facilitating the use of natural gas, and does natural gas contribute to climate change? Your core mission is keeping the natural gas in the natural gas pipeline because, as you said, it is a very powerful, when released, a very powerful climate driver. And so in this change in mission, is this change in mission being directed by the White House? And what communications have you had with them regarding this new direction for PHSMA?
So I agree with what you said. So I think maybe there's just a disconnect on sort of our common understanding that when we're keeping product in the pipe, that's mitigating climate change, right? So that's what we're trying to do, is keep the product in the pipe. That's improving safety, mitigating
I guess I have to ask, you used to have quarterly meetings with the industry. The PHSMA group and your group used to have quarterly meetings, and yet, the best way to keep gas in the pipe and to keep environmental catastrophes from happening is working closely with the people who are most engaged in keeping them from happening, and as the industry folks here are very incentivized to deliver safety and delivery within their pipelines. You haven't been having the meetings since 2021. How can you achieve your stated purpose without better engagement with the industry?
I believe we've had 5 advisory committee meetings in the last few years. Those are primarily focused on, and their role as Congress set out, to consider rulemakings. We had the most productive year in our agency's history in 2021 in rulemakings. Many of those had already had the advisory committee meeting for those rulemakings. So you can expect a bunch more, either a bunch more meetings or longer meetings to just get more done at one meeting instead of having a bunch of separate meetings, because it takes a ton of staff time to actually set up for those meetings. And it also takes a lot of time, and I know people are very generous. We've got members here represented in actually going to those meetings, but we're trying to make it as efficient as possible instead of just having meetings, which in this town often don't always produce results.
I can see that. I'll yield back.